Welcome back, and yes, I'm wearing the same outfit for 3 videos in a row because I filmed 3 of these all back to back to back because I knew I would have some time to work on it today that I'm filming and wouldn't the next weekend. So, when this video comes out, we will officially be in the month of February, which, as I mentioned in the last video, is undoubtedly the longest school month of the year. It's the shortest calendar month, but it's that month that drags on and on. Especially, I'm assuming there's some of that elsewhere in the United States as well, just by the timing of the school year, but especially here in the Midwest, where it's been cold and dark for a very long time, and we still haven't reached that point where we see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we're far enough into second semester, and we're far enough away from winter break that people are starting to get grumpy, and people's tolerances are a little shorter, and that's students and teachers. I will sometimes remind my students when they get in sort of that funk that sometimes happens, and they're maybe complaining about classes, and I remind them that if you're feeling that way, your teachers are feeling some of that as well. Now, hopefully, the teachers are still working to keep things upbeat, and I think our teachers certainly do, but I remind my students sometimes that, yeah, everybody has that sometimes where they don't feel 100% geeked up and ready to attack the day, but that's what we're focusing on right now, is what are some things that we can do when we maybe don't feel ready to roll that can improve our mood and improve our environment to impact the people around us. And that's something we've been talking about specifically in my character and leadership class. We've been talking about communication lately. And there is just, I think, a universal truth that, one, we have the ability to impact the emotions of other people. And 2, people often don't remember the things we say, but they always remember the way we made them feel. And I think that's such an important thing to understand. I think when I was a younger teacher, I would maybe get a little frustrated when students didn't remember the specific things I was teaching in class. And I certainly want my students to pick up on the specific skills that I'm trying to give them. But more importantly, I want students to remember how they felt when they were in my classroom, how they felt when we had interactions. That's more important, and it's longer lasting. And we all have that power. We all have the ability to positively impact other people and to affect their emotional state in a positive way. So we started doing that last week when we just sent a message to someone, letting that person know he or she positively impacted our life. It's sort of just a thank you on a random day, where it's not something special, where we're not telling someone something nice because it's their birthday or something like that, or because they've accomplished something, but just because. And this week, similar task, we're just taking it one step further. This week, my task for all of you is to do something nice for someone else. That's it. Very simple. And I know a lot of you are doing wonderful things every day already that positively impact the lives of others. You are. I've been so proud of my students when we talked about the areas that they wanted to focus on as sort of their resolutions or their goals, how many of my students had things specifically about impacting other people. And that is so wonderful. I really thought that was just fantastic. There were so many of our students that I want to positively impact other people or communicate better with people and things like that. And that's awesome. Or focusing on being a leader in school or in their specific extracurricular programs. That's just great. So we're already doing a lot of those great things. But this is just a little reminder to just do some extra little nice thing. Especially if we're in a spot where maybe we're in a little bit of that February funk. It's the best way, I think, to improve our own emotional state is to improve someone else's emotional state. It's like anything in life. We get out of it what we put into it. And if we're putting good and positivity into the world, it comes back to us. And we can do that in very little ways. So this doesn't need to be anything epic or grand. It can be some little thing that maybe you just wouldn't have normally done. Maybe it's just going to somebody and say, hey, I really like your shoes. Or, hey, I like it when you do this. Or I appreciate this about you. Or whatever it is. But that's the task. It's kind of similar to last week's, but last week we were kind of thanking someone for something they have done or do for us. This week we're just taking it that next step, and I want you to take that positive feeling and pass it along to somebody else. Just do one simple, kind act for somebody else where you're not expecting anything in return. It's just for the sake of putting a little positivity in the world. But I want you to make a commitment and actually do something, and then by the end of the week just tell me what you do and how did it go. What was that person's reaction? Again, how did you feel? Similar to last week, but we're doing something. We're putting something into action right now. So that's it. We're into February, but we're going to keep our moods positive. We're going to stay focused on the things we want to accomplish, and let's have a great month and keep hammering through the school year and doing the things that we want to do. So, thank you. We're going to have a great week. Much love.